In this video, let's talk about cloud-based editing with scenery. Real quick, you're watching VP Land. Special thanks to our sponsors for helping make our NAB coverage possible, Blackmagic and Atomos. And now, back to the video. All right, I'm here with Liza from Scenery. Liza, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Just tell me, what is Scenery?
Scenery is a web-based collaborative video editor. We look at ourselves as your all-in-one solution to asset management, storing, organizing, getting your footage in a really good spot, to editing and review. And of course, it's collaborative, so anyone could jump in the edit at any point. You could asynchronously collaborate together, and the whole process is to make your life a lot easier.
That's awesome. So tell me, you mentioned the first part, asset management. So walk me through kind of the workflow of with Scenery.
Absolutely. So yes, within Scenery here. So within Scenery, you can store all of your media in our platform. You can easily start to import directly from your Google Drive if you're storing on the cloud, your Dropbox, or locally if you're somebody who's just likes to store on their local hard drive. But then, of course, once it's imported into our software, it stays there, right? So you can easily just send a project link over to someone else, whether they're in California and you're in New York, and you can start to collaborate on various different media assets because we also transcribe all the media for you. So you can start to log, you could search upon the transcripts. So you could do all the, bells and whistles that you would want to do when it comes to asset management.
Nice. And so you're copying it to Scenery storage. It's not like reading off the cloud storage, existing cloud storage?
Yes. Yeah. We store in AWS. So we're storing all of our footage in there. And then from there, you're able to do what you want.
If you had your media, because I saw like Dropbox and Google Drive, if you had stuff on other buckets or online storage, can you bring that in as well?
So yes, you could grab media from Google Drive and Dropbox. We are looking into other ways. So if you're storing in the S3 bucket, that is something that we are going to explore in our next phase as well.
And so you got your media in here, and then what's next?
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so we've got all media here in our all media library. So I can easily search upon the transcripts. I could search upon comments. So let's just search Scenery for the sake of this demo here. And I'm going to click apply. And you're going to see all the hits on the keyword Scenery. So now here, I can jump over to my transcripts. You could see 63 hits on the word Scenery. Clearly, I talk about Scenery a lot. So I could quickly just navigate through these different moments here. I could highlight different sections that I like from this interview that I've done. And now you could see it's actually highlighting it on that preview window here.
Okay.
But I could actually favorite that range. I could navigate over to my annotations here, see all those logged. So once again, if your collaborators in California, they could jump in here, start logging all of that footage for you. And then from here, you could start stringing that out on your timeline. And it's a really nice, easy workflow that way. Or if there's somebody who likes to just add a little marker to yourself, a note to self, it is a really nice way to do that as well.
That's awesome. And is there any way, are you analyzing, so you're transcribing, are you able to tag footage, or is there any automatic tagging happening?
Yeah, great question. So yes, you are able to tag, we tag metadata here, so you can see when you actually imported it, how long it is, when it was created. So we do store all that metadata for you. I will say, if you are storing in a Google Drive and you've already tagged all your footage there, we will take that whole data and all the tags that you have,
existing metadata,
okay. And it'll just directly link over right into Scenery as well.
Okay, that's very cool.
So a common workflow that we hear is, well, I've got an hour-long podcast and I don't want to have to listen through the meat of it, right? And get to the really good parts. So we've developed an AI assistant editor, and oftentimes people are like, wait, I want to still edit it. I don't want to take away that process, right? So what we've created is an AI assist here that not only helps you, but allows you to actually still tweak and fine tune and make sure you know what you want to, ultimately get out of your outcome here. So this was an hour-long interview that I've done here, and I could easily select 30-second social media teaser.
So these are sort of preset prompts or ideas to get started?
Exactly. Preset prompts to get started here. I could tweak it to whatever I want. I can make it more specific. So extract quotes that can be combined for a 30-second teaser about Scenery.
Quotes about a certain subject or something.
Exactly. Quotes about AI, whatever it may be. Of course, you can use one of our preset prompts here as well. And then from here, I select Generate. You'll see Scenery do its magic here.
And so is it looking like kind of just running through all the transcripts of the video right now to kind of figure out what to pull?
Exactly that. Yeah. We look to the transcripts and the audio of the transcript to detect and analyze what we want to bring to the timeline here. So you saw how quick that was, right? This is about 25 seconds here. Obviously, I could play this out and we could see what it gave us. You also could look to the transcript now to make sure it's...
And so now, is this view of the transcript we're seeing of our timeline?
Correct. Okay. You got it. And of course, like, okay, let's say I don't like this bite. You see it highlighted in my transcript over here. I could delete that. And now you'll see that updated transcript over here as well. Same with trimming and you know, you see as I
kind of did like a rough string out, but now we can still go back in and
tweak it, fine tune it. Exactly.
Okay, yes. So it's like a starting point.
Yes.
For editing.
It's a starting point, yeah.
And then, so I see we've got our timeline. How is this similar functionality that people might be used to with like a desktop-based video editor?
Amazing question. So we've designed scenery to be intuitive enough for your novice user, but also familiar enough for your Premiere Pro user, right? So anyone that jumps in, we want to make them feel at home. We want to make them feel comfortable. So we've designed our tool to kind of give you the best of both worlds there.
Yeah. And so what are some of the features like keyframing or layers? Like what are some of the kind of things we could do on scenery that we might be used to if someone is a bit more familiar with Premiere, Resolve, the Final Cut or something?
Awesome. Let's get into it. So yeah, we have all of your keyboard shortcuts. A lot are mapped to that Premiere style workful that you're used to. JKL, right?
IO, right?
Exactly. IO, all the good ones. But if you ever get lost, you could always search upon here. So if I wanted to create a freeze frame, I could just search create freeze frame, Shift F, and boom, it'll create a nice thumbnail of Doc and I on this interview. Other features that are similar to other editing tools, as I mentioned, we've got a nice, you could splice on the time code, delete. But as I delete, you're noticing it's starting to ripple automatically. And that's because of our main track. So we built the main track to be a foundation for all of your primary content. But when you have your V2, your A2, you'll be able to keep everything in sync. So
sort of the connected clip idea.
Exactly. To keep everything, a lot easier. It's like, let's say I wanted to drag this, title right on top of here. And I start to trim to the left here, you're going to notice that title's staying in sync. It's moving with me.
You're right. Okay. That's nice. You don't have whole stuff shifting out of place. And then you just showed me titles. So what kind of graphics options and stuff do we have?
Awesome. Yeah. So we've got an awesome set of pre-baked titles in our title library here. You can see, obviously, you can, preview them over here. You could always do your customized one. I want to call out that we also have a really great brand kit feature, and we'll dive into that in just a second here. But you can easily save all your pre-branded colors, for one project, and it'll save for all the remaining projects that you actually create. And this way you can easily just not have to type in that hex code and, every single time and remember all your colors there. So a full pre-baked title library here. We also have shapes, backgrounds. So like you could play around with your look, your feel here of your branded style. We've got transitions, effects, animations. So we've got a full feature set up.
Are there some audio effects as well or audio tools?
Yeah, so we've got audio keyframing. So you can go ahead. We'll just dive in here to your, set that option. What's that? So I went to adjust. I can easily add that, audio keyframes and pump that up. The fading as well. We do have an audio cleanup feature. So if you have ambient noise and you want to get rid of that annoying
like everything we've been filming here.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we could upload our this interview afterwards to Scenery. I could click this audio button, click to clean, and that will process. I could always turn it on and off and it'll clean up.
Is it an on off or you have like a slider for like how much you remove or the intensity?
Yeah, so it is an on off at this moment, but that is something we are thinking about as that next phase in terms of audio.
And what options do you have to like sort of bring in your own graphics or animations or stuff that has transparency?
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so we've developed a brand kit and we recently launched it, and it's an awesome feature because you could do exactly what you just said. So you could create these templatized branded elements for you to easily reuse and repurpose. So we do support ProRes files and any transparent alpha trim.
4444 ProRes.
Exactly. So if you are building your After Effects, cool animations, you can easily export those as layers, build them in our brand kit over here that I will show you in just a minute. And then from there, you can easily repurpose and reuse. So what I've done here, this is what was built in Scenery. I'm going to play this out here. I've got this awesome lower third here that I've created in Scenery. Yeah. And I can easily, this is Doc here, right? I'm going to go ahead and delete this here. what I can do, because this is in my brand kit, I could easily add this to the playhead, and boom, there it is, docs there. And now I can easily readjust. Maybe I don't want docs name to be so big. Maybe I want to readjust the eCam logo here, right? I can do all of that fun stuff. And that's now saved. So this remains the way it initially was shown when I previewed it, but now I can adjust and fine tune and use it as a template. So we developed this brand kit feature for exactly that, the repurposing. You could have as many assets as you want. In your brand kit, you also could have scenes, which is what I've created here. A scene in scenery is like a sequence and other tools.
Okay, like nested sequence kind of idea?
Yeah, this is sort of like your nested sequence, but in general, a scene in scenery is like a sequence, so I could toggle between all my different scenes that I've created.
Oh, okay.
But you could save a scene to your brand kit, and that's what we...
And you could reuse that scene.
Yep, so what a common workflow that I always suggest to our customers is create a brand kit scenes project. That way, anytime you want to go back and change one of your scenes, you could always adjust and then ultimately resave that to your brand kit.
Okay. And then as far as reframing for social options and publishing and stuff like that, do you have options here?
I'm glad you asked. Okay, so within our project that we've got going on here, once again, we're currently building this as a 16:9 video, right? We already transcribe that media, so I can easily add subtitles from the track. So I could select what track I want to create subtitles for.
They're on-screen subtitles.
Correct.
Right.
Word highlight, that's a pretty fun one. Again, you could see that it automatically generated all those subtitles here. And now I can easily fine tune and tweak. This isn't the eCam color, right? So maybe I want to do the eCam orange for this. I can easily select orange here, and now that will update over here. But obviously also these subtitles are getting in the way. I could easily move them up here, make them smaller, and now I've got, them in the right position and they're exactly where they need to be. Now you asked about other social platforms. So
or reframing.
Yes. So obviously you might want this for TikTok, you might want this for Instagram. So what we developed is an auto reframe that allows you to quickly take your 16:9 and convert it into your other aspect ratio. So I'm going to navigate over to this project I've got going on here. So you can see this is a really nice, video that with those subtitles. I can easily duplicate this project, call this, let's just say TikTok for the sake of doing this, 9:16, auto reframe. And now here you've got Sam Altman, Reid Hoffman talking about...
That's kind of reframing based on active speaker.
Exactly. Active speaker, where I cut them, framing to the subject here. But one step further, this is great, right? We're ready to push this to TikTok. But these lower thirds, I want to make sure that they're actually in the right position. We've also now added safety overlays. So I can select TikTok here.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I'm going to adjust right here. Now I know, oh wait, that's not where those titles are supposed to go. I just moved them up here and now they're in the
that's
spot.
Great, yeah. So you have different overlay options for different apps to make sure, okay. Yeah, that's like the next stage of title safe, because you're always like, never know when it's going to get blocked by the UI.
Yeah.
That's about it. And then export options?
Yes, export options. So right over here, if I click export, you could see you can export at various different resolutions. We do offer 4K if you're somebody who is exporting in 4K. And then you also can export in various different qualities as well. And then when you do export, I'll navigate back over to this other project I was working in here. When you do export, we'll just call this YouTube's promo, right? When I do export that, that's going to get queued up in our panel over here. But you could go off and work on various other projects as well. So you're not necessarily, stopped at what you're not blocked to work on other projects. So that brings me to our scene review. Let's say that one's exporting, it's good to go, but I want to get feedback on another scene. I can navigate over, let's actually go back to this scene here. Let's say this is a really good version, but we want to get another set of eyes to make sure that it's good to go. I can navigate to our scene review here, and this will give a nice movie theater kind of experience for someone else, let's say again in California, who's giving me feedback. I could easily share this like I would a Google Doc, send this, anyone with this link can review, copy that link, send it off to them, and now in real time, they could give me feedback. So maybe they say to me, from this point to this point, time code and marker here, let's change Doc's name to be our expert's ready to go. We could download it. We could publish it to YouTube. We could easily go to that folder.
So you have some integrations if
exactly.
You want to directly publish or download it to your computer.
Exactly. We could send this off to somebody else as well. But let's say, for instance, we're not confident that that expert is ready to go. Again, I can give this to somebody else before I actually export. Send this to them. Let's change this to DocSign to have white text. And now I can easily, as the editor, in real time, see that time-coded feedback on my end. Go to this comment track here. See that time-coded feedback right here. Let's change docs.
Okay.
Names have white text. Go to this title I've got. Change this text to be white. And now, as the reviewer, they see that on their end happen in real time. So you don't need to render and export and send that draft back off and forth, and then you can say, good to go, let's ship it. And then from there, you would be confident to go, create another export.
Awesome. That's very cool. And what's been sort of the use case that you've kind of most commonly seen with people using Scenery?
Yeah, it's a great question. Honestly, this social workflow is something that we see customers using time and time again, because you can see between the AI assist, between our auto reframing, and all the intuitive UI that we have, it is a really nice, efficient workflow to just create and repurpose and reuse that same workflow over and over again. So that's one. And then another common one is the ability to honestly just collaborate on that footage and make sure it's in a good spot. So it is that asset management side of things as well. But I would say the common end-to-end workflow is exactly that social down workflow.
Nice. And pricing options, how's it work?
So our business model is a freemium subscription model. So you can start editing today for free, up to 10 gigabytes, test out, see what you like about our tool. If you want to upgrade to a pro plan, you'll be paying $15 a month per editor with 500 gigabytes worth of storage. And then from there, we do have an enterprise tier where we will work with you and design a great plan for you and cater to your needs.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, Liza.
Yeah, thanks so much. You have a good one.
And that is it for this episode. Be sure to check out the rest of our NAB coverage over here at this playlist and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next episode.